welcome to our March board meeting. Good evening and welcome to our March board meeting. There's a little bit of excitement in the room tonight. I don't think it's our board meeting. I think it's the anticipation of spring break next week. Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for watching us on TV. The Board of Trustees of Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District is now convened in a regular meeting on Thursday, March 9th, 2017, in the boardroom of the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Instructional Support Center, 10300 Jones Road, Houston, Texas, at 6 p.m. I want to welcome the members of our audience and our television viewers to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Cypress-Fairbanks Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It's not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve any current concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on tonight's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by sections 551.071 to 551.084 of the Texas Government Code. These proceedings are airing live on CFTV Channel 16 and CFTV online on the district website. They will also be rebroadcast throughout the month on Channel 16 and available as video on demand on the website. For the tape to adequately reflect the proceedings, I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that all cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. I've got a couple of special people to introduce. We have a number of Boy Scouts with us today. In fact, we have 4 of them. They are from Cy Creek and Aragon, and they're working on their communications and their citizenship badges. If you gentlemen will stand up so we can acknowledge you when I call your names, and if we will applaud all 4 at the end. Ryan Colby with Troop 4296, Sam Snouse, I think, with 1276, William Hudson, 1296, and Mark Bailey, 1290. Let's give them a round of applause. Hi. Do we have anybody from CLC with us today?
Yes.
Julie? Heineman? Thank you very much, Julie. Thank you for being here. We are about ready for our Pledge of Allegiance and presentation of colors, but I do want to introduce the cadets first. First, we're going to have a moment of silence, and then we'll have our presentation of colors and Pledge of Allegiance. Our cadets today are from Jersey Village High School, JROTC. They are Cadet First Lieutenant Kyle Martinez, Cadet First Lieutenant Miranda Reisman, Cadet Second Lieutenant Jacob Bierwagen, and Cadet Second Lieutenant Chris Jenkins. Their sponsors are Major Dennis Martinez and Technical Sergeant Joseph Campbell. If they will just wait a moment, we're going to stand and have a moment of silence, and when I tell you we're done with the moment of silence, we'll have the presentation of colors. Thank you, and now the presentation of colors. to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Oath. Forward. Arms.
Thank you, and you may be seated. Member Don Ryan will read the district's vision and mission statement for the benefit of the audience.
Thank you, Madam President. Our vision statement: learn, empower, achieve, dream, lead. Our mission statement: maximize every student's potential through rigorous and relevant learning experiences, preparing students to be 21st century global leaders.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. The next part of our agenda is our special recognitions, and I will turn the microphone over to Dr. Henry. He will make remarks and announcements, including the honors and achievements earned by staff and students in recent weeks.
Thank you, Madam President, board members. More than 5,500 community members gathered at the Berry Center and Town Lake on February 18th for the 4th Annual Superintendent's Fun Run, a fundraiser that is expected to generate, on my notes it says 67,000, but we already know that we're north of 70,000 now, for the Cyfair Educational Foundation. With the theme Superheroes for Kids, the fun run featured participants wearing superhero attire to illustrate the life-changing work of the Cyfair Educational Foundation and educators throughout Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. CFISD swimmers captured 2 medals and several top 10 finishes at the UIL Swimming and Diving State Meet at the Texas Swim Center in Austin. Cy Woods High School senior Kelsey Evans earned the lone medal for 3rd place in the 100 breaststroke with a school record time of 103.34. The Cy Woods girls earned their highest ever team finish at state, placing 5th. The Cy Ranch boys placed highest among CFISD male teams with a 6th place team standing. The Cy Ranch 200 freestyle relay team of John Sowell, Luke Bowman, Dylan Newman, and Sean Morey brought home a 3rd place medal. The Cy Ranch Lady Mustangs basketball team defended their Region 3 6A championship title at the UIL Basketball State Championship in San Antonio on March 4th. The ladies won their semifinal game to make it to the state championship game, where they lost a hard-fought battle to the Duncanville Pantherettes. Certainly, I was there that evening and was extremely proud of our Lady Mustangs, and not just the way they competed, but the way that they represented this community. More excitement this weekend. The Cypress Falls High School boys basketball team knocked off Fort Bend Bush 73-63 on March 4th in the Region 3 6A final game at the Berry Center to advance to the UIL State Basketball Tournament in San Antonio, which begins tomorrow night. They'll play Skyline High School out of Dallas at 7 p.m. and certainly looking forward to that. And again, it's the first time, I believe, Mr. Ryan, you're kind of our historian, but I believe it's the first time since 1970 Cyfair ISD has had a boys team in the state basketball tournament. So does that sound right to you?
No. No, it does not.
Okay.
We actually had a team, I think it was in 79.
Okay,
Was from
there you go.
State. But that's, you were in the same decade.
That's
so
why I checked.
Good for you.
That's why I checked with the historian. It's been a long time.
It's been long.
It's been a long time. But we're glad they're there. And that's all I have, Madam President.
Okay, let's move to our board comments. Any board member may make a comment during this portion of the agenda without prior posting being required. Comment items may not pertain to the character of any student, staff, or board member and may not be discussed or deliberated upon at this time. Let's start at Mr. Jackson's end. Mr. Jackson, do you have a comment?
Silly lady, you know that I do. I made all of my normal stops, many of those. I was joined by my colleagues, but there's a couple that I would like to highlight. First, my colleague Christine Hartley is not here tonight. She's doing double duty as a parent as well as a trustee. She is chaperoning a trip that involves her daughter and other students at the high school that her daughter attends. And that goes hand in hand with all of the co- and extracurricular activities that come up to the top of the surface this time each and every year, and it's a reason why I'm very proud to serve this district, because we remain a full-service district committed to all children. A couple of the stops that I found significant. One, Miss Vicki Snookhouse, Cypress Creek, Andrea Barnes, Rick Sanborn, the Fred Factor. Adding value every day. Clearly that's something that our staff, our campus management and senior management does in fact do every day in the school district, which is one of the reasons why this district outperforms all others in the state of Texas and has really for the past 20 years. Tips Elementary, Ms. Carrie Huff, Ms. Tanita Frank from the Alley Theater. For the first time ever, the Alley Theater reached out to the suburbs and came to our school district. They came with a troupe of professional actors. I was pleased to be there and pleased to see their message about the cycle of bullying that takes place. It was well received by the fifth graders at Tips Elementary. So tonight I tip my hat to the Alley and those at Tips, and I tip my hat to all the Freds that this district is full of.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Dr. Ogletree?
Yes, thank you. I want to just thank all the schools as well as the teachers who observed Black History Month in the month of February, a history that is by and large omitted in our history books, and thank you for observing a rich history of all people who've made such valuable contributions to this country.
Thank you, Dr. Ogletree. Mr. Covey?
Just a shout out because I absolutely enjoy reading at schools. And of course, we had Dr. Seuss's birthday this past week. And I know there were a number of the board members that were out reading, and some of them dressed up. And I know I was accused of being the real Dr. Seuss and our Cat in the Hat. I'm not sure which was more honoring, but it was awesome. And you know, it's just watching these kids and the look in their eye when they're being read to, they just love it. And if you have not done that, if you're listening and you would like to do something in elementary schools, go out and read to those kids because they really eat it up. And I compliment all of our schools in celebrating and reading. Thank you. Oh, and be careful next week. Come back in a week and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Covey. Mr. Ryan?
To follow up on what Bob was talking about, Read Across America, I'd like to apologize that the staff at Reed Elementary and at Lead Elementary, at Lead, that's where I read, some brain surgeon decided to have benchmark testing while I was reading on the campus. That did not go over well. So we need to review their test scores, maybe give them a do-over. And then also, I do want to highlight the staff in our athletic department at the Berry Center. We had the state wrestling meet that was here, and we had teams from all over. And I got to tell you, our athletic department, especially when you've got the state wrestling meet, Cy Ranch going to state for girls basketball, they have done a remarkable job. The state wrestling meet went off without a hitch, and it's just very well run. The Berry Center is definitely a hidden gem. In the Cy Falls game, yeah. That we had the regional tournament there as well. So I'm amazed at what they're able to do, and I'm not going to mention all of them by name. They know who they are, but they do a great job, and we are very grateful to have those individuals in leadership positions in our district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Ms. Blackshear?
Yes. It's been a busy month since the last board meeting. There's as Mr. Jackson noted, there's been a lot going on. He and I both participated in celebrating Wilburn's 25th anniversary last week, I believe it was. And it was a very wonderful celebration, lots of good memories shared of Mr. Wilburn. All three of his children, plus one of his granddaughters, was present at the celebration. It was a great time to reconnect with the Wilburn family and to hear their stories. And, you know, if you know Bubba Wilburn, everyone has a story about Bubba. So it was a really great opportunity to celebrate him as well. I too echo my thanks in participating in Read Across America last week. It was a busy day. I read started at Danish and then moved on to Read and then back over to Swinky for the end of the day. And if you've ever read The Cat in the Hat 10 times in one day, you almost know it by heart by the end of the day. But as Mr. Covey said, it was so much fun to see the kids' eyes and how excited they were and how much they loved Dr. Seuss. And it was a great opportunity to share that special day with our students. I also want to congratulate the Cy Ranch girls basketball team. I'm so proud of them for having made it so far. And I had the chance to make both of the Cy Falls basketball games last weekend, and those were some really exciting games. And I think Mr. Ryan even tweeted something about it was kind of rough on the blood pressure watching those games. But they really played some awesome games, and I wish them all the best as they move on to San Antonio this weekend. Wish I could be there.
Road trip.
And then I also have visited with Liz Miller at Swinky and Liz Wood at Salyards and Becky Cope at Pope since our last board meeting, and just in awe of everything that's going on at those schools. And last week I was in Austin with the Alliance of North Houston Chambers of Commerce to meet with our elected officials at the Capitol, and that was a fun day. It was good to see our elected officials and to talk to them about education. So I hope everyone has a safe spring break next week. I know it's well earned by our staff and our administration, and I know our students are looking forward to it too. I have some grandkids that are real excited about spring break next week. So everyone have a great week, relax, have fun, and come back safe.
Thank you, Ms. Blackshear. Mr. Covey has an additional comment.
I did forget something because I didn't write it down. But I was also at the Cy Falls game at the Berry Center, and I will tell you, I sat with a group of people that I'd never met before, and one of them was a head basketball coach out of Beaumont, and he couldn't say enough about that Berry Center, what a wonderful place it is, and how lucky we are to have that in our district. And I just reiterate that to anybody that has any doubts, that Berry Center is just amazing. And we're talking about athletics, and you know I'm kind of the fine arts guy. I will say a shout out to Langham Creek Chamber Choir, which they went to Madrigal contest about, I think maybe last weekend, and they placed third out of about 50 different chamber choirs in the state of Texas, which was amazing. But one of the things that really amazed me was I got a video of them at the Capitol in the rotunda with about 8 other school district chamber choirs, and they singing the doxology, God bless you. And I thought, I certainly hope that the representatives were listening, and I hope they deserve that beautiful music. Thank you.
I would report that Dr. Ogletree also read. He read at Woodard this year because he forgot to mention that.
I was at both the Cy Falls games.
And he was, we want to make sure everybody gets their full credit. I do think Read Across America is one of the best days, and I agree totally with Miss Blackshear. You know, I try to bring my books that I've already got memorized, but by the time you read them 12 or 14 times, you're like, oh, wow. And it's always a lot of fun. You know, our local chapter of TSTA helps organize that, and I see that there are no representatives here today, but I would want to acknowledge their help in organizing that. And I also wanted to mention that our CLC, and Julie Heineman was introduced earlier, has a wonderful recap of our legislative priorities. And if you haven't seen it, I bet she would give you a copy, and I have a couple up here. But it has all the different things that we're interested in, and they suggested the legislative priorities to us, and the board vetted and approved them. But it talks about school finances, assessments, accountability, school choice, and transparency. So it's a great little brochure, and I hope parents will look at it and get some ideas on what they can talk to their state legislators about.
Darcy, they're also on Twitter now.
Yes, they are on Twitter, and I think it's CLC_CFISD.
No,
Oh, all right, opposite way, CFISD_CLC. So follow them on Twitter. All right, any other comments?
I'll just add one thing. I know it's board comments, but I have been told that Cy Creek was in the boys' state tournament in 2002, so I will not delve into history anymore related to the
Neither will
basketball. And by the way, Mr. Ryan was wrong too, so I would like to point that out.
For the first time tonight.
We're going to move now to citizens' participation. Patrons who have duly registered per policy BED local may address the board regarding matters of concern or interest to the district, other than the character of any student, staff, or board member. I would like to remind the audience and the viewers that the comments of the speakers reflect their personal positions or opinions. The board may not discuss or act upon any matter that is not listed under the action item portion of the agenda. Therefore, board members may not discuss the comments of the speakers. Please understand that a lack of response from the board member does not indicate agreement or approval or disapproval or disagreement of the comments. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to address the board. Bob Covey, our secretary of the board, will be the designated timekeeper. Our presenters will come up to the podium on my right, your left, and have their 3 minutes. The green light means you've got at least a few more minutes to go. Yellow light means you have 30 seconds, and red you need to sum up in a sentence or two only. And tonight we only have one speaker, David M. Wilson. Mr. Wilson?
President Mongoya, Dr. Henry, I want to thank you for allowing the opportunity for citizens to comment. I'm going to be speaking about agenda item number 4B, the purchasing cooperatives. I appreciate you putting the board packet out there where that information is available. And I noticed in there that one of the purchasing cooperatives is with the Harris County Department of Education. I want to make sure that you're aware of some of the things going on with that controversial organization. Harris County Department of Education is an obsolete school board left over from 100 years ago when counties operated Texas public schools. All other counties in Texas quit electing county school trustees after their students moved to the independent school district, but this dinosaur has refused to close. They use public funds from property taxes, fees, and bonds to start up, purchase, and or operate business enterprises, everything from cloud computing to purchasing cooperatives. They aren't limiting these business enterprises to their own counties. They're selling services across the United States. And because they're actually a leftover school district, county school district, their 3,000 plus employees qualify for the Texas Teachers Retirement System. That means that state taxpayers are responsible for providing their employees lifetime benefits as if they were teachers, even when much of their work has nothing to do with public education, like storing records for the city of Houston or purchasing services and charging back the cost plus overhead to their customers. These tax-exempt subsidized business operations use public debt to purchase private companies and using public funds to supplement government-owned businesses. Government businesses can put private sector companies out of business and their private sector employees out of work. In other words, taxpayers are at war with subsidized public sector, socialistic businesses that are working to undermine our capitalist system. In the current legislative session, there are actually 3 bills out there that deal with Harris County Board of Education. SB 646 relates to the elimination of the taxing authority for Harris County Department of Education. SB 1166 relates to the review or a sunset review of Harris County Board of Education. And SB 1167 relates to abolishing the Harris County Department of Education. So I wanted to make sure that you are aware of that. There are other alternatives other than the Harris County Department of Education and their purchasing cooperative, otherwise known as Choice Partners. So I want you to consider that. I would love to see the administration move into some other options other than Harris County Department of Education. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. We appreciate it. Now, we will move now to report section. 4 reports. The following items may be considered at both the Committee of the Whole meeting and the regular board meeting. A, the administration will provide an oral report on the school administration and staff development departments. And I believe we have a number of presenters. Carla, we're going to start with you.
We're going to start with me. President Mongoya, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Henry, our school administration and leadership development team are honored to share information about how our departments serve our district. The areas of focus for tonight's presentation will cover our purpose, our work, and our future plans. School administration and leadership development is made up of 4 departments under the leadership of our Associate Superintendent, Mr. Roy Garcia. We have 4 assistant superintendents whose focus is on school administration. Our staff development department is comprised of a director, coordinator, and professional learning specialist serving all CFISD staff. Earlier this year, you heard from Health Services and Guidance and Counseling. Our focus for tonight will be school administration and staff development. We are often reminded that life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? With this in mind, school administration and staff development focus on 3 areas. 1, we provide support to various stakeholders. 2, we focus on building the capacity of current as well as new and aspiring leaders. And 3, we continually work on cultivating our leaders' talents.
The Department of School Administration is divided into 2 zones, as you can see on the slide. 2 years ago, when we went from 2 direct principal supervisors to 4, we looked at several options to divide the supervision of our campuses. The decision to start with our high schools and divide by their feeder patterns was a good one because this design encouraged vertical teaming. Travis and Carla work primarily with our schools in the southern part of the district, while Donna and I work with the northern feeder patterns. Of course, we are all 4 available for any campus, regardless of location within the district. As we look at the next 4 slides, you will hear just a few of our main responsibilities. Here you'll see the organizational chart for Travis Fanning, who oversees the secondary schools in the South Zone. One of our primary responsibilities in school administration is to formally evaluate the principals within our zone. This process is ongoing, but the big pieces are fall goal setting with each principal, a mid-year reflection on these goals, and a formal evaluation at the end of each year, culminating with a summative conference with each of our principals. As you look at the campuses I supervise in the North Zone, let me tell you about another one of our most popular duties, which is, of course, serving as hearing officers in the formal grievance process. Everybody loves that part. We make every effort in collaboration with the many outstanding departments in our district to help campuses resolve conflicts and disagreements before they get to this point. However, we all know that some will require a more formalized process. In every case, we strive to resolve the complaint in a manner that is just and fair to the grieving employee or parent while upholding board policy and law in every instance. Moving on, Dr. Carla Brosnahan works directly with the principals in our elementary South Zone. One of the things we work into our schedule on a pretty regular basis is leading professional development on our campuses, reaching beyond the administrators to the teacher and paraprofessional level in an effort to impact the daily lives of our students. After presenting at this year's District Professional Development Week to kick off the school year, our presentation titled, "Can Your School Compete with the Magic Kingdom?" is gaining in popularity around our campuses. We have been to several campuses speaking about the importance of customer service, how to work as an effective team, and the impact of great teacher traits, with fun activities mixed in to demonstrate the power of laughter and lighthearted competition. You should see teachers trying to move an Oreo from their forehead to their mouth without using their hands. Priceless social media every time. And last but not least, here's a picture of Donna Shepard and the schools she oversees in our elementary North Zone. Yet another way we support and guide all of our principals is through our monthly meetings. This principal-only time gives us an opportunity to address their most pressing needs and do some mini professional development sessions, as well as some proactive planning and decision-making. The preponderance of research on school success points to the principal as the single most important person in the development of a culture of excellence. When we're able to guide our principals, we know the impact goes beyond the soon-to-be 91 of them. It trickles down to all of our campus employees, the 115,000 students, their parents, and ultimately the entire community. Great principals lead to great schools. And speaking of great principals, I know we have at least a few in the audience, so I'm going to ask for any principals that are here tonight to stand so we can recognize you. This photo is a great visual of the people we support and directly supervise. We are proud of these principals, and our biggest goal is to be there for them every hour of every day, to mentor, coach, and support them in leading their campuses and developing their teams. Perhaps what makes us most qualified to guide principals is simply this. Between the 5 of us in school administration, counting Roy, we have a combined total of 87 years in campus administration, with 50 of those collective years in the role of the principal. We have seen and done a lot in that half century, and we lean on our experience daily to guide others. The principal's role encompasses so many areas, covering so many departments within the district. In that regard, the school administration team has been compared to general practitioners in the medical field. And in some ways, I guess that's true. We have a broad knowledge base of the principalship and school leadership because we have walked in the principal's shoes. We can support our principals in almost every way to lead a healthy life of leadership. Yet it is awesome that here in Cy-Fair, we have specialists focusing on just one area of running our schools in every single CFISD department with whom we are able to continually collaborate, much like a general practitioner works with a surgeon or a medical specialist when needed.
In staff development, one of the essential functions of our department is providing support for new teachers. Staff development provides an initial welcome into the district with new staff orientation and continues to provide support through a comprehensive new teacher induction program. The district's new teacher induction program provides a combination of high-quality mentoring by master teachers, facilitated by campus lead mentors, and ongoing professional development tailored to meet the needs of the new teacher. Staff development also provides a one-stop shop for all professional development resources. Over the past 2 years, we have listened to the voice of our customer and responded by providing a comprehensive system that houses resources and support for teachers and administrators. Some of what the Cypress-Fairbanks Professional Growth System houses includes a learning management system, My Learning, where all staff can register for both online and face-to-face learning opportunities. PD in Focus, which we affectionately refer to as the Netflix of high-quality teaching videos that provide exemplars of highly effective teaching. MyFast, which is a tool built in collaboration with curriculum and instruction, gives teachers opportunity to receive frequent feedback from campus instructional leaders and enables those leaders to have up-to-the-minute data on a variety of instructional practices. My Appraisals provides online access to the appraisal system and process throughout the year as cumulative data is gathered for the appraisal. And finally, My Mentoring, both mentors and teachers are supported with the means to track their progress and access just-in-time resources.
In addition to providing support, we also build capacity. Our district recognizes and values the importance of the role of the principal in the overall success of our district. To ensure new principals are supported and continue to develop, our district has multiple programs in place. Each new principal receives a mentor who is a currently seated principal to assist them with the day-to-day task of their job. School administration leads a monthly meeting with the new principals and their mentors to build their knowledge of the various district departments, expose them to district policies and procedures, and discuss upcoming events. We have adapted this formal mentoring concept for our directors of instruction, assistant principals, and associate principals. New principals receive a new principal coach. Research states that most districts use the sink or swim model with the new principals, but not in CFISD. In 2010, 13 elementary principals retired in 1 year. Some of you were on the board at that time and may recall a conversation about how can we tap into that knowledge that is exiting our district. Well, we are proud to share we did just that. In 2010, school administration developed the new principal coaching model. Using Title II funds, we hired back some of those retired principals. Twice a year, we provide training on research-based coaching strategies, as well as to educate the coaches on current issues and district initiatives. New principals have the advantage of the coach for 3 years. The program is designed to be a gradual release of the principal. During the first year, the coach is present on the campus weekly for 1 semester. The second semester, the coach's visits taper to every other week. Monthly visits are held in years 2 and 3. In this model, the coach is able to observe the new principal in action, meet with staff, and learn the climate of the campus. The coach then provides specific feedback, engages in reflection time, and continues to develop the principal's leadership skills. The program has been highly successful, and our new principals often say they are very grateful to have a coach dedicated to their success. Our district is very unique in offering this support to our new leaders. We currently have 13 new principal coaches and who have served 57 new principals since the program's inception in 2010. A priority for the school administration team is to be on campus where leaders are doing their work. We strategically track visits to ensure all campuses are routinely visited. These drop-in visits allow us to provide authentic feedback and just-in-time coaching and support to our principals. Last year, we conducted more than 880 visits to our campuses, and as we continue to add schools, we will strive to spread our presence among the soon-to-be 91 campuses. These campus visits allow us to meet and visit with the 284 campus administrators, and many of them aspire to be principals one day. As we are involved in the hiring for principals, it is imperative that we know our aspiring leaders very well and that we offer them support and guidance on their career journey. School administration also provides support to the 7,400 teachers, the 115,000 students, and to their parents.
Along with the work of building capacity from school administration, staff development supports by providing training opportunities for aspiring and newly appointed leaders to obtain certification in advancing educational leadership and in the Cypress-Fairbanks Professional Development Appraisal System, equipping administrators with ongoing training for their role as growth agent throughout the appraisal process, and by providing resources for managing these processes as well as technical support all along the way. The Staff Development Department continues to search for opportunities to provide teachers with high-quality professional development to build instructional capacity. The district offers a wide variety of high-quality, innovative course offerings, including PD in Focus, which I mentioned previously, a Netflix of on-demand streaming videos showing best practices in action, PD Online, which offers a wide variety of online learning opportunities for our teachers that are interactive and self-paced, Moodle, an online portal that allows our district leaders to build content to meet the professional development needs of their staff, and Quantum Learning, an intense training program that equips teachers with brain-based tools and strategies for engaging and energizing learners. Quantum Learning is led by district facilitators. Some of these folks are in the room with us today, and so at this time, I would love to ask our Quantum Learning facilitators to stand to be recognized for their work in building the capacity of teachers district-wide. Thank you. Likewise, each year, staff development serves our campus and district leadership in providing opportunities for ongoing professional growth. One such professional growth opportunity is the annual leadership conference. This traditional beginning of the year conference serves as an opportunity for approximately 1,200 district and campus leaders to come together to calibrate and celebrate as we kick off the school year. The event offers an opportunity for leaders to meet and visit with many of our district business partners through the venue of a partnership expo. Throughout the year, professional growth opportunities for campus leaders are continued through a choice of 2 leadership learning paths. An a la carte leadership path provides 2 conferences during the year for attendees with sessions based on their interests and needs, and a leaders learning and action path in which participants engage in action learning with a cohort of others who have chosen the same path. Along with providing resources and building capacity, school administration and staff development seek to continue to provide learning opportunities to cultivate talent in our district. As you can see, we have a variety of partnerships that provide opportunities for our teachers and leaders in continuing postgraduate work. In consort with providing information and support, our district also currently provides 2 face-to-face postgraduate cohorts in partnership with the University of Houston and Houston Baptist University. These cohorts meet several nights a week down the hall in our instructional support center. In fact, a few of the U of H cohort students are with us this evening. So at this time, I'd like to ask these students to stand and be recognized as well. Thank you.
As you may recall, in the fall of 2012, Dr. Henry issued a strong call to action for CFISD to examine and improve current leadership development practices. Specifically, the charge was to ensure that our learning organization that attracts, develops, and retain a diverse group of talented leaders at all levels. In the time since, the Leadership Development Committee, LDC, has led the charge of cultivating the growth of our leaders. The work of the committee resulted in 3 strategic goals that supported the superintendent's vision of becoming the premier district in terms of how we invite, engage, develop, support, and maximize the incredible strengths and talents of our leaders. The goal of the LDC were established as a result of the district needs. School administration, in conjunction with HR, student services, and curriculum instruction, has hired qualified principals to meet the needs of our community and staff. Feedback is solicited from community and staff through online and face-to-face meetings. Since 2008, we have filled 108 principal vacancies here in CFISD. With 74 of those vacancies being filled by first-time principals, it is our primary responsibility in school administration to support, encourage, and advise these principals as they navigate the awesome task of principalship. When vacancies occur for principal positions, we look first at the interested 75% of our 284 campus administrators for the next qualified leaders. With Dr. Henry's call to action under the direction of Roy Garcia, the Leadership Development Committee worked to develop a clear, clean pipeline to the principalship, and in a broader sense, to leadership in CFISD. No matter where you fall on this pipeline, whether you are pre-service as a current teacher aspiring to administration, induction as a novice administrator, emerging as an administrator within the first 3 years of service, or leadership as a seasoned administrator, the district has learning opportunities aimed at cultivating your continuous growth. Tom Guskey reminds us that when it comes to professional development, or in our case, leadership development, we must begin with the end in mind. As a district, we've maintained a laser focus on the strategic goals of developing high-quality leadership training that prepares leaders for various roles that leads to the principalship or their next desired opportunity. From the work of the LDC, we developed what we refer to as the Leadership Institute series. The Leadership series provides a myriad of growth opportunities and essential skills needed for leadership. Research has shown that people who are not properly trained nor connected through positive relationships tend to vacate their employment to find an organization that is willing to invest in them. Here in CFISD, our Institute series not only demonstrates our commitment to having the best leaders in the nation, but also demonstrates to our employees that we value their worth to the district and we're committed to supporting their growth and future aspirations. Each institute is a year-long course tailored towards a distinctive audience that is in our leadership pipeline. Before you is the syllabus of our Aspiring Administrators Institute that was derived from the portrait of a Cypher administrator. Mock interviews and panel discussions are always identified as their favorite sessions. While our participants have the opportunity to receive in-depth teaching and learning from school administration, the flipping group, and departments within CFISD on a monthly basis, we are afforded the opportunity to learn about our future leaders and their growth through presentations, conversations, and interactions with peers. In your provided handout is detailed information regarding each institute. As educational trends tend to evolve, we make changes to our curriculum as needed. With the individuals who have participated or facilitated in our Institute series, or what was formerly known as Leadership Academy 1 or 2, or Rookie Mentor for principals and new principals, please stand and be recognized. Thank you.
Additionally, we offer growth opportunities to our experienced leaders. There are many programs we invest in to cultivate talent. The Rice REAP program is Texas-based. Harvard Summer Institute on Leadership Development is international and allows participants to collaborate with educators all over the United States as well as other countries. Many other leadership opportunities shown on this slide are offered each year. As of this date, 81 principals have participated. Our team has also been inspired to share our leadership development activities with other districts, as well as presenting CFISD's work at state conferences the past 2 years.
The Staff Development Department, in conjunction with Human Resources and our pilot campuses, is hard at work on our next, which encompasses a new appraisal system, which we plan to propose in a future board meeting. The Cypress-Fairbanks Teacher Evaluation and Support System will provide an opportunity to reset our appraisal system and processes to reflect the cycle of teaching and learning in which our campuses are already engaged. Plans are underway for training more than 400 appraisers and providing an in-depth orientation process for our teachers upon board approval. In closing, President Mongoya, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Henry, thank you for this opportunity to share with you our team, our purpose, our work, and our future plans. We look forward to continuing to ask ourselves life's most persistent and urgent question: what are we doing to serve others? As a team, our charge, our challenge is to look for additional ways to provide support, to build capacity, and to cultivate talent in Cypress-Fairbanks ISD.
Thank you very much. What a great presentation. We really appreciate the information. Does anyone have any questions that they want to ask? Mr. Ryan?
A couple of things that really stood out. One, Dr. Henry, and you've been doing this for a few years, I think when you look at the leadership in our district and on our campuses, the diversity that we have there now, that's a great reflection of what you guys are doing. And one thing that you were talking about, Donna, that I've actually seen visiting the campus are the, and I'll use the wrong word, the principal mentors that are helping new principals, that is a awesome program, because I can tell you as a parent, a good principal is just so critical, and it goes all the way down to, it just defines the culture of the campus. And that's what's so great about our district, is that we have remarkable principals and of course, we only have 3 children, but that we know of, but but the principals that they've had have had a direct impact on the success that my own personal children have had in our district. And I just think that the things y'all are doing to help those principals, and then also to develop the new leaders that we have. The fact that we had 74 out of 108 that were first-time principals, and we're still blowing the doors off when we look at how we score compared to other districts surrounding us. That's just a great reflection of the work you guys are doing. So I just want to tell you personally, and I'm sure I speak for a majority of the board, we are so grateful to the work that you guys do. It really is. And I'm amazed when I was sitting there showing the campuses, I'm going, oh, wow, she's got 27 campuses. I mean, it's just, it blows my mind. But that's also for those that are a little anal about our taxes. That's why you see our low administrative costs, is that they're doing a great job. And you know, I'm thrilled to death. So thank you guys. This is a great report. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Any other comments? Mr. Kobe?
Yeah, I just kind of want to tag on to there. I won't go into the anatomy part, but I will say that I'm always impressed with what's going on with our principals. And I will tell you that when I ran for the board the very first time, one of my fraternity brothers was a superintendent in a small town in West Texas. And I just called him and I asked him, I said, kind of give me some insight here on what you see. What are things that I need to be aware of? And his comment was, Bob, he said, I tell you, one of the most important things is if you don't have a good principal, he said, you're going to lose excellent teachers. If you have a bad principal, even excellent teachers have a problem. But if you've got a good principal and a solid principal, they bring mediocre teachers up to excellent. And I find that to be true throughout this district, and I'm very proud of what we're doing. And I also say, I just love the idea that we mentor here. It's just amazing. I know we mentor the principals, but I also love that we mentor new teachers. And when I go to Texas State, which Don and I pointed out, we didn't appreciate not seeing North Texas, our Texas State up there, and we'll work on that. But when I go and talk to young students that are studying education, that's one of the things that I lay out there and say, look, you're going to have a mentor, you're going to have a master teacher that's going to work with you for up to 3 years that will really help you get your feet on the ground, and you'll be excellent. So doing that for principals and for teachers is just beyond awesome. So thank you very much for doing this. I love the program. Thank y'all. Keep on going.
Thank you, Mr. Covey. Any other comments? Mr. Jackson?
A couple of quick notes. It is well documented statistically that the single most important thing you can do at any one school is to have an effective principal. A second comment, Peter Drucker, which is somebody you always read when you're in graduate school in business, made the observation that a trademark of a premier institution is one that continually reinvests in its leadership. And that's a trademark of this district and has been. And certainly when our Commissioner of Education asked not only me, but he's also asked others on this board, what is the secret sauce of this school district? A prime answer is our leadership. So thank you, leaders, for doing all that you are doing. And also thank you to those who lead and help nurture our leaders to be better each and every day.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Dr. Ogletree?
Yes, the support that our principals as well as our teachers receive is outstanding. I have been on some visits when that support is being manifested right there in front of my eyes. And all that I hear is that is welcomed and much needed. And so I'm happy about that. And also, we have made some strides in diversity, and we still have a good ways to go. And so, looking forward to us continuing in that. The thing that kept, as I listened to the report, is that everything that is being done, it ends up we see the results in the classroom. And that is what is so good about Cypher, is that the ultimate aim is that student in the classroom. And so we've got some good things to be happy about.
Thank you, Dr. Ogletree. I do believe that our a very deliberate professional development program makes all the difference in the world. I hear about it from teachers, and I hear about it from administrators, and how they took they got a feeling of confidence, and they got a lot of different skills that they really needed when they participated in the trainings and the programs and the development. And I think that's our ultimate goal, to make sure we put the best people in leadership, the best people in our classrooms, because as Dr. Ogletree said, our students will definitely benefit. Any other? Ms. Blackshear?
I say it probably almost monthly as I visit schools. You just have to visit our schools and our classrooms to see how evident it is that we have top leadership in our schools, and it trickles down from the top, from the administration down through the principals, through the teachers. But the way we equip our staff to do what is needed in their classroom to reach their students is evident in our schools, and is why our scores are so high, and why this school district is the school district that many people move to so their children can receive that education.
Thank you, Ms. Blackshear. Moving on to Report B, we did receive a written report on the district's participation in purchasing cooperatives for the 2015-16 year on Thursday.
Oh, Monday.
Excuse me, Monday. I'm still confused when we change around our dates. I apologize. And so that will bring us to the end of our reports. And I'd like to take a short break at this point, because we've been going for almost an hour. Just a 5-minute break, everyone. And we'll see you back in 5 minutes.
Let these folks.
Who did the,
Let them go.
Well, I didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
Roy, who did the PowerPoint? Linda did?
Good evening. We're ready to get started again. Well, if everyone will find their seats, please. We're going to get started again. We had a short break, and we are ready to move to our action items. During the course of the Committee of the Whole meeting, it was the consensus of the board that the following action items be approved as submitted or amended. 5A, consensus. The board will consider approving the tax refunds of $500 or greater for Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. And B, the board will consider approving the minutes of the February 13th, 2017 meeting. Then on Monday, we placed some of the non-consensus items on the consensus agenda, and I'm going to read those now. 6A, the board will consider awarding bids and contracts and/or authorizing purchase orders as recommended in the posted agenda, including 1, athletic and clinic first aid supplies, 2, electronic technology equipment repair parts and repair services, 3, janitorial services, 4, library books, textbooks, e-books, publications, and media supplies, 5, materials handling equipment repair services, 6, sheet music, 7, vocational lab supplies, equipment, and housewares. That is all part of item A. Also, B, the board will consider approving the administration's recommendation for the 2017-18 open-closed campus designations for student transfers. We'll consider approving on second reading additions, revisions, or deletions to district policies, including 1, DBA local, employment requirements and restrictions, credentials and records, that's a revision. DFBB local term contracts, non-renewal, also a revision. 3, DFFA local reduction in forces, financial exigencies. 4, DFBB local reduction in force, program change, revision. 5, DFFC local reduction in force, continuing contracts, a revision. 6, EIA local academic achievement, grading progress reports to parents, that's a revision. As well as E, the board will consider approving construction proposals and contracts paid from bond funds to the recommended contractors and authorizes superintendent or designee to execute all necessary documents related to such contracts as follows. 1, the 2017 Goodson Middle School mechanical upgrades. And F, the board will consider approving the granting of a signal light easement to Harris County located at the intersection of Queenston and Coventry Park adjacent to Medcap Elementary, and authorizes superintendent or designee to negotiate the final terms and execute all related documents. If any board member wishes to remove one or more of items for further discussion, please do so at this time. I see none. I will entertain a motion to approve the consensus items as recommended or amended.
Madam President, I move that we approve the consensus items as recommended or amended.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Do I have a second? I second. Ms. Blackshear seconds. Any discussion? All those that are in agreement with these consensus items, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. All right, that leaves us only one more item. That's D. The board will consider participating in the One Voice Public Education Coalition. I'll take a motion first. Mr. Ryan?
Madam President, I move that the board participate in the One Voice for Texas Public Ed Coalition for Texas Public Schools Coalition.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Mr. Covey seconds. May we have some discussion? Any questions or comments? I know we did discuss on Monday.
I do. Since I made the motion, I am in favor of participating in this, not so much the resolution aspect of it, but the participation of it. And something that, and we did have a great discussion, I thought, on Monday on this, but something that Bob brought up that kind of hit home with me was when we were talking about, this doesn't minimize what the CLC is doing at all. In fact, as a district, I think we need to do everything possible to let our representatives know what we need. And this is just another tool in our toolkit that will allow us to do that. And so that's why I do think that we should go forward and participate in this with the other districts, because just to have the attitude, and I think I'm probably paraphrasing what Bob said, but to have the attitude of we're not getting what we want, why not, let's just don't do anything, that's not the attitude that we want to have. We want to keep screaming from the mountaintops on what our needs are, and we want to use every available vehicle that's brought before us if it meets our criteria, and I think this did, and that's why I'm in favor of my participation, of our district participating. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Any other comments? Mr. Covey?
Yeah, one thing is I did talk with Kristen Tassin this week, who is the spearhead on the One Voice, and I mentioned to her pretty much what Mr. Jackson had brought up, and that was that the reference to the single tier was vague at best, and part of that's because just this week there was another entity, and Mr. Jackson, you may remember because I copied you on it, that came out with their own single tier, and so just saying single tier really didn't help, and it didn't define. We took what the CLC was saying, and that was to simplify and make it equitable, and she liked that idea. She told me that she was going to take the single tier down on the website. We did check this afternoon. It wasn't down yet, but she did say she would be taking it down and implementing what we use at CLC. So I was real pleased with that. And I will say that I truly believe that we have to stand up and talk. We obviously have people that are talking against us on a regular basis, and it's time for us to stand up for what we believe, and that is free public school education for all students. And I know I've heard people say, well, I pay taxes, so it's not free. Well, we don't charge students, and we accept all students in the public school. And you can't say that about other entities that are professing to be education. So I thank you. I appreciate the motion, and I certainly appreciate my second. Just going to tell you.
Any other questions? Mr. Jackson?
As with the removal of the language on funding that did not come from this district, I find that I can be supportive of participation. I don't want to minimize what the CLC has done. There was a tremendous funding disparity between this school district and every other district in Greater Harris County. We continue to be the least funded of the 20 largest districts in the state of Texas. However, a campaign over a period of legislative sessions that was adopted by members of the CLC, and you had our chief financial officer, Stuart Snow, who was the tip of the spear, did in fact result in a reduction of that funding disparity between this district and others. The disparity is still there, and in fact would have been even more greatly reduced other than some of our neighboring districts who are part of the One Voice Coalition objected to the further diminution of that disparity. Funding is always sensitive for any school district. But I find that with the changing of the language, and I trust that the other district that is in control of that website will in fact change the language, I find that I can support our participation. I do believe there is greater strength in numbers, but I remember what Pam Wells always told me when I was on CLC. Remember, every district has their own story on funding. And funding, of course, is critical. But I do like the other aspects of the participation and the language largely adopted from what the CLC put together. A minor aside, as most everybody knows, I'm a geek, and I'm also a American history geek. A couple of things that our founding fathers were fond of. One, they hated to pay taxes. We fought a war over non-payment of taxes. The other funny thing about our founding fathers is with the little bit of tax money that came in, they wanted accountability. I firmly believe our founding fathers would agree that if you spend taxpayer dollars for anything, you want accountability. So I find that I can support participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Dr. Ogletree?
Yes, and I too, I agree with what Don said earlier. And when we first discussed this, I was a little pessimistic, but I want you to know that I agree with you. Everything that we can and should do, we should. In fact, I will be in Austin Monday morning, and so we've just got to keep doing everything we can.
Thank you, Dr. Ogletree. We've had a motion and a second and discussion. Any further discussion? All those that are in favor signify by raising your right hand. That's unanimous. Excellent. We'll move from that. We are not having a closed session tonight to our superintendent's briefing. So, Dr. Henry?
Thank you, Madam President, trustees. March is National Nutrition Month. The annual Nutrition Education and Information Campaign was created by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. The campaign focuses on the importance of making informed food choices and developing sound eating and physical activity habits. More than 8,700 students from 18 CFISD middle schools connected to potential careers in Junior Achievement of Southeast Texas' 4th Annual Job Awareness Fair in February. The 3-day event at the Berry Center allowed all 8th grade students to interact with more than 50 Houston businesses and a variety of industries. And certainly I would be remiss if I did not thank that y'all mentioned earlier, the Berry Center staff, and that facility makes these types of coeducational programs possible for our students. And then Dr. Macias, she took a very simple idea that the former CEO of Lyondell-Bazell and myself thought about but didn't know how to achieve, but I gave it to Dr. Macias, and she and her team made something wonderful out of it. So certainly you deserve kudos for that. The district spring break begins next week, in case y'all didn't know that. March 13th through 17th, all schools will be closed and classes will resume on Monday, March 20th. Club Rewind is offering day camps for our K to 8th graders every day over spring break. The registrations and 6 locations can be found on our website. In case of emergency, security may be contacted at 281-897-4337. And certainly I would wish all of our students and employees and families those that are going to take a little time off, a great vacation, and please be safe. Summer school programs, and I know that seems funny, but that's just around the corner, will be held June 5th through July 17th. Schools will not be in session on Friday, so the summer school will be Monday through Thursday. Other details for summer school, such as program specifics, locations, and exact times, will be posted on the district's website. The State Board of Education is now accepting nominations for the 2017 Student Heroes Award. Nominations are due by March 27th. The Student Heroes Program recognizes Texas public school students in pre-kindergarten through high school who do outstanding things to benefit their fellow public school students. Recipients will be announced in May, and a certificate of recognition will be awarded to the student hero by his or her State Board of Education representative. And once again, I hope everyone has a safe and happy and healthy and blessed spring break. Thank you.
I would echo Dr. Henry's message that we wish that everyone have a very fun and exciting but certainly safe spring break, and we look forward to seeing everyone in April at our Committee of the Whole and our Board of Trustees meeting.
Don't adjourn. One more thing. Go Eagles.
That's right. Cy Falls Eagles. Very important game. We wish them a great deal of luck. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next month.